The next reading is from the book of Exodus, and this from the Good News translation. Exodus chapter 15. Then Moses and Israelites sang the song to the Lord. I will sing to the Lord because he has won a glorious victory. He has thrown the horses and the riders into the sea. The Lord is my strong defender. He is the one who has saved me. He is my God, and I will praise him. My father's God, and I will sing about his greatness. The Lord is a warrior. The Lord is his name. He threw Egypt's army and his chariots into the sea, and the best of his officers were drowned in the Red Sea. The deep sea covered them. They sank to the bottom like a stone. Your right hand, Lord, is awesome in power. It breaks the enemy in pieces. In majestic triumph, you overthrow your foes. Your anger blazes out and burns them up like straw. It blew on the sea, and the water piled up high. It stood up straight like a wall. The deepest part of the sea became solid. The enemy said, I will pursue them and catch them. I will divide their wealth and take all I want. I will draw my sword and take all they have. But one bread from you, Lord, and the Egyptians were drowned. They sank like lead in terrible water. Lord, who among the gods is like you? Who is like you, wonderful in holiness? Who can work miracles and mighty acts like yours? You stretched out your right hand, and they yet swallowed your enemies. Faithful to your promise, you led the people you had rescued. By your strength, you guided them to your sacred land. The nations have heard, and they tremble with fear. The Philistines are seized with terror. The leaders of Edom are terrified. Moab's mighty men are trembling. The people of Canaan lose their courage. Terror and dread fall upon them. They see your strength, O Lord, and stand helpless with fear. Until your people have marched past, the people you set free from slavery. You bring them in and plant them on your mountain, the place that you, Lord, have chosen for your home, the temple that you yourself have built. You, Lord, will be king forever and ever. The Israelites walked through the sea on dry ground, but when the Egyptians' chariots with their horses and drivers went into the sea, the Lord brought the water back, and it covered them. The prophet Miriam, Aaron's sister, took a tambourine, and all the people followed her, playing tambourines and dancing. Miriam sang for them, singing to the Lord, because he has won a glorious victory. He has thrown the horses and the riders into the sea. Then Moses led the people of Israel away from the Red Sea into the desert of Shur. For 3 days they walked through the desert but found no water. Then they came to a place called Marah, but the water there was so bitter that they could not drink it. This is why it was named Marah. The people complained to Moses and asked, what are we going to drink? Moses prayed earnestly to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a piece of wood, which he threw into the water, and the water became fit to drink. There the Lord gave them laws to live by, and there he also tested them. He said, if you obey me completely by doing what I consider right and keeping my commands, I will not punish you with any of the diseases that I brought on the Egyptians. I am the Lord, the one who heals you. Next, they came to Eden, where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees. There they camped by the water. The next reading, Exodus 20, chapter 20, from the Good News translation. God spoke, and these were his words. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, where you were slaves. Worship no God but me. Do not make for yourself images of anything in heaven, or on earth, or in the water under the earth. Do not bow down to any idol or worship it. because I am the Lord your God, and I tolerate no rivals. I bring punishment on those who hate me, and on their descendants down to the third and fourth. But I show my love to thousands of generations of those who love me and obey my laws. Do not use my name for evil purposes, for I, the Lord your God, will punish anyone who misuses my name. Observe the Sabbath and keep it holy. You have 6 days in which to do your work, but the 7th day is a day of rest dedicated to me. On that day no one is to work, neither you, your children, your slaves, your animals, nor the foreigners who live in your country. In 6 days I, the Lord, made the earth, the sky, the seas, and everything in them. But on the 7th day I rested. That's why I, the Lord, blessed the Sabbath and made it holy. Respect your father and your mother, so that you may live a long time in the land I'm giving you. Do not commit murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not accuse anyone falsely. Do not desire another man's house. Do not desire his wife, his slaves, his cattle, his donkeys, or anything else he owns. When the people heard the thunder and the trumpet blast, and saw the lightning and the smoking mountain, they trembled with fear and stood a long way off. They said to Moses, "If you speak to us, we will listen. But we are afraid, and if the Lord speaks to us, we will die." Moses replied, "Don't be afraid. God has only come to test you and make you keep on obeying him, so that you will not sin." But people continued to stand a long way off, and only Moses went near the dark cloud where God was. The Lord commanded Moses to tell the Israelites, "You have seen how I, the Lord, have spoken to you from heaven. Do not make for yourself gods of silver or gold to be worshipped in addition to me. Make an altar of it for me, and on it sacrifice your sheep and your cattle as offerings to be completely burned, and as fellowship offerings in every place that I set aside for you to worship me. I'll come to you and bless you. If you make an altar of stone for me, do not build it out of cut stones, because when you use a chisel on stones, you make them unfit for my use. Do not build an altar for me with steps leading up to it, for if you do, you would expose yourself as you go up the steps." Okay, may God bless the reading of his word that I've chosen from Exodus. Thank you.